worked our way back towards the front, and then just stayed out. I told him afterwards. I told David afterwards, congratulations, but I wish he wouldn't have hit the wall, because if he wouldn't have hit the wall, he probably would have pitted with everybody else, and I'd have been up front. But either way, it was a good finish. Not at all a racing finish. It's not like I'm proud of it, but I'm glad that we got a good finish today.
Let's open it up for questions now for Ryan Newman. If you have a question for Ryan, raise your hand. We've got a couple of wireless mics. We'll bring it to you. And go ahead.
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. Ryan, do you think they waited too long to call this thing?
I wouldn't say they waited too long. I mean, it was in the best interest of the fans to put on a show for them. Unfortunately, we lost a huge part of the population with all the rain delays, and we sat around for another hour and a half just being hopeful and optimistic. But bottom line was Mother Nature didn't let it happen, and then we knew based off the forecast that it was going to be that way, and it turned out to be that way, and now we get to go home.
David Newton, ESPN.com. This is for Ryan and Robbie. I know, Ryan, you mentioned several times about the fans and hanging around out here for the last couple of days. Tomorrow you guys have a meeting where NASCAR is going to open it up for you guys to discuss issues. What do you hope to tell them or express to them that they need to do to kind of help bring more excitement back to the sport?
I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't know how the meeting is going to go, and I don't know if we're going to be doing more listening or talking. But I think to have good communication, it's got to be 50-50. And there's some things with the race cars that we've talked about to make the racing better, and obviously there's some issues outside of the race cars that have been talked about in the past. So I'm not really sure what the program is for that meeting. I'm not sure if it's going to be a 45-minute list, just listen and walk out, or if it's going to be 45 minutes of questions afterwards. So it's going to be interesting. It's the first meeting, to my knowledge, that we've had in a situation like this. We've been put in a room before and talked to, but it's interesting and nice to be able to have capability to talk and a two-way street of communication.
If you want me to answer that, I'm going to say you guys can help us as much as anything. Between talking about ratings or talking about this, negative breeds negative, and we need to get some positive thinking around here. We got some pretty good races going on. I think the first half of this race wasn't very exciting, but the All-Star race was very exciting the other night. So, I think we all can overcome this thing, and it's not just about the race cars or just about this. It's about positive thinking. And unfortunately, every time you turn on the news today or you read the newspaper, it's nothing but negative. And positive breeds positive.
Other questions? Got any more downstairs before we go up? Take one from Dustin, then we'll go up to the press box.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers, for both you, Robbie and Ryan. So far, the first two crown jewels of the season, the Daytona 500 and this race, rain shortened. I guess to put it in Robbie's sense, I guess what kind of a positive do you get out of something like that, or what is there anything that can be done? Because I'm sure there will be some fans that will ask, after the Daytona 500, a lot of fans were saying, why didn't they try to complete that race? Look at what happened here. Is there a solution to things like that?
I think they did an excellent job putting an effort in today and yesterday. I mean, there's different situations that NASCAR's put in. You don't start a race unless you know that you can finish it. So they were boxed in last night. Today was a little different situation where they, they knew they could get to at least 200, 201, I guess. And I don't think that there was any type of premature call on the rain delayed or the rain canceled or the rain shortened race today. Daytona, I'd say, was a little bit more of a question, but it's just part of it, man. It's Mother Nature. We don't race in the rain, period. And there were times today we were racing in sprinkles, but they did a good job of keeping the cars and drivers safe. And unfortunately, like I said, this is turned from the Coca-Cola 600 into the Coca-Cola 12 hours or more, or whatever it is now, and 24. But either way, it's just part of racing.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate Mother Nature didn't cooperate. I mean, they obviously tried to dry it time and time again. I didn't think it would get called this early, but at the same time, we've got to have cars back at the racetrack on next Friday. And, we are here in Charlotte, but it is Monday. It's not a Sunday race. So it's going to be a short week already for our guys. And, I think
and there's a bunch more rain coming.
And there's more rain coming, and they've tried for a while. So, I'll take third. I mean, lucky for us, but unfortunate for the fans that obviously pay good money to come and watch a good race. And I think NASCAR did a good job trying to get the track back green again.
Go upstairs for some questions. Go ahead.
Ryan, this is Thomas Pope from the Fayetteville Observer. You won your first race under somewhat similar circumstances. How satisfying was it to you at the time, and how much different did it feel when you won one getting the checkered flag?
I mean, there's different ways to win a race, but when you win your first race, it doesn't really matter, I guess you could say. It's special all on its own. Obviously, the 50th running of the Coca-Cola 600 is special in itself, but you know, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and you got to use strategy. You got to have a fast race car. You got to do all those things right or close to right, and you know, Ruderman pulled it off, and there's nothing much more you can say about it.
He's been running good all year too. I mean, he's had some good runs, and this time he had a little bit of luck on his side.
Stay upstairs. Go ahead.
Tony Bowler, Courier Tribune. I got two questions, one for Ryan and one for Robbie. For Ryan, could you talk about your sense of accomplishment, 4 straight top fives, what you have with that, given the fact that you made the decision to make the jump teams to Tony's new team and whatnot? And for Robbie, just what this does for your program, not only in points, but just as some momentum to try to build something.
Well, for me personally, it's huge. It's been a long time since I had 4 top fives in a row, and I can't even remember when it was. But the guys are doing a good job with Tony Gibson and leading the group, and obviously everybody at Stewart Haas. And same things I've always said: you just put ourselves in the right position at the right time, and we'll get our win. But you know, I'm just happy to be you know. You can, I guess, kind of forget the whole jumping ship. That's in the past. We're talking about the present and the future, and I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing, and I look forward to Dover.
And for me, you know, obviously this is a momentum builder for us. I think, you know, we've had some decent runs. We finished 15th at Richmond a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, we got caught out early at Darlington, but, you know, how you say it, success breeds success, and I think this will only help us. We've been focusing really hard on our race cars, and we've got there's another clean race car that we get to bring home, so that'll help us as far as building up ammunition to go to the racetrack with.
Anything else in the press box?
Yeah, this is for Ryan. Ryan, the decision was there a decision for you guys? I mean, was it just a no-brainer to stay out?
There was a decision, and we talked about it down the back straightaway, and I said, is the rain going to stay? And they said, well, looks like it. I mean, it might, but it's going to rain. Just as a matter of how much and what was the situation going to be with NASCAR calling it. And we decided if everybody pitted in front of us, we were going to stay out. And then at the last second, he goes, "Come in." They're coming. They said, "My dad's spotting for me." He goes, "They're all coming." And Gibson says, "Come in. We'll put 4 tires on it." And I'm like, "Come on now, you can't chicken out on me." And I stayed out. But in the end, it was the right thing to do. But just like Joey said, it's a crapshoot. I mean, if we would have went back green, we would have had to come back in and would have went back to last. And then who knows if it would rain 20 laps later. It's just strategy. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Other questions downstairs? Anybody else? Dustin has